All right. Welcome to another episode of the Mod Pod. We are getting closer and closer to the start of the NFL season. Something me and Jose are both excited as a Cowboy and a Bears fan here. It feels like it's been the longest off season ever, especially with how the way the season ended for both teams. But hey, we're almost here. We're just, 2 weeks out? No, a week out. Yeah, actually just 2 weeks out. Yeah. Start from Thursday night, Cowboys versus Tampa. I mean, the only thing that's been keeping us afloat is just some of this preseason stuff that's going on. A lot of good things for both sides. A lot of other issues that we can talk about, I'm sure, as well. But we can start off today. I mean, we'll start off normally, cracking a cold one open. Jose's already starting on the cigar in there. Cheers, my guy.
Cheers, man. Like you said, we have football season's around the corner. It's hot as fuck here, so I don't really have that football weather right now. But it's exciting times, We
are both in San Antonio, Texas, ladies and gents.
Yeah. And, we get to have football on, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays. So that's pretty cool right now. Yeah. But I'm just glad to be here, man.
Same, man. I mean, what's been keeping us both entertained for right now is a little entertained for different reasons, of course, as Hard Knocks. Of course, Cowboys is the featured team on it. We're already 3 episodes deep. Just third episode just aired yesterday. What's your thoughts so far on Hard Knocks itself for the Cowboys?
Can we just start off and just kudos to that intro yesterday?
Oh, the drone footage, yeah.
The drone footage. That was probably – it deserves an Emmy for sure.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. And I'm really surprised that from what I was seeing or reading, they had 3 hours to record that. And I guess they they had like an estimate of like 15 tries, and they actually got it on the 15th try.
Dang, that's cutting it close for sure. Right. I mean, yeah, it always is nice to see. I mean, that drone footage of the star in Frisco was definitely a badass. I mean, the way it was just zooming in and out of everything, going into the meeting rooms and all that, that was really unique. But yeah, I mean, 15 tries, it looked really good. I mean, everybody was impressed on Twitter with it. That's what was trending throughout that entire episode.
Yeah, I think that was like the only thing that you got left with was like, man, right. That is fucking fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a shaky start to Hard Knocks. I mean, I think everybody, a lot of the fans, especially for Cowboys, were expecting to see a lot more of Prescott, but everything that's going on with the shoulder injury, the team wanting to be a little bit more cautious. Apparently, he participated on 11-11 drills today. Mike McCarthy said he's also going to do the competitive 7-on-7 drills coming here. But there's still, hostility. You know how rabid some of us Cowboys fans can be. I'm more of on the less eccentric side of it. But everybody kind of thinking the team's keeping it under wraps, that there's more going on there with his shoulder. It doesn't seem that way at all. At least to me on mine, they're just being cautious with what they've invested in. They've already seen what had happened to him. There's no need to rush him when he still looks like he's ready.
Yeah, and it did look like they were trying to keep his injury under wraps. And, I mean, they did good trying to keep it under wraps and not make it look as serious as it could be. But you could see it in Jerry Jones's eyes. Like, he was a little freaked out.
Yeah. No, I mean, more you can see it so on just Prescott. I mean, frustration. I think, one thing that a few Cowboys fans have taken out of here and people in general is just we saw a different side to Dak than what we normally see at the podium. The yes, sir, no, sir type of a player that we expect him to be. But then you see him dropping F-bombs and you see that competitive fire in him that he's just mad that he's getting sidelined throughout the first couple episodes. And, I mean, I think that was kind of like an eye-opener showing, what type of guy, what type of player and leader he is.
Yeah, that was one of the first takeaways from the first episode was that, he wasn't going to help his backups at all. Like, they're on their own.
For sure. I mean, he gives them, the things that, a little sayings here and there as far as improvement goes. But when he was visibly getting frustrated, like when I think it was Garrett Gilbert where he's telling him like, hey, they wanted me to come in. He's like, no, I didn't ask for you to come in. Like, they took me out. It wasn't on me. Like, he's vocally was getting frustrated, with his own team, with the other quarterbacks. But I mean, that's just him. He's already sat the sidelines for so long. He just wants to get back in there, and that's why I'm looking forward most of week one. I want to, hope the best for the guy. I hope he has a healthy career from here on out. And I can just see that frustration, and hopefully it boils all over in the best of ways when it comes to his stats and putting the points on the board for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I wish him the best. Of course, your team is not the same without him.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we've all seen the footage on DiNucci, and we know that he's probably not going to be on the roster.
Yeah, thankfully, it looks like Cooper Rush is more than likely going to be winning the QB2 spot. But if one thing I've learned through Hard Knocks is depth is still going to be a problem for the Cowboys, whether it be on the O-line, whether it be in the quarterback room. There's not a lot of depth there in case something were to happen.
For sure. But can we talk about a position that is for sure guaranteed?
Are we going with Mr. Alarcon, Isaac?
Yeah.
Talking about the tackle, or what position are we going? Or Michael Parsons?
I was going to go with, for sure, Zeke.
Oh, Zeke. Okay, yeah, for sure. I mean,
I'll be the first to admit the kid looks good. Yeah. I like hoodie Zeke better than crop top Zeke.
For sure. No, Zeke slimmed down. He's got more of that same build that he had as far as like even to his states, even to back in his college states. He looks good. He looks like he's got that burst back from what we saw his rookie year. And one thing that he's determined, he's motivated, and you can see it. The way he takes his job serious. I mean, that's one thing about Hard Knocks that I've noticed. It's like when he gets with the other rookies or guys trying to make the team, him, Amari Cooper, they coach him up. They don't make it a big deal. Like they're willing to at least attempt. Yeah, they'll joke around and everything like that, but when they legitimately see the other guys asking for help, or even if they're not asking for help, but they see what they're doing wrong, they at least coach them up to it. And that's something I like. I mean, that's that kind of camaraderie that you want to see with your teammates.
Yeah, and they really zoned in on that on the last episode where Zeke and Amari were kind of like taking in that big brother role and coaching up these rookies. So that was really cool to see, especially with Amari, since he wasn't really getting any camera time, which we had brought up the last couple weeks.
Yeah, it's nice to see that. I mean, he was nursing. I believe he had an ankle injury as well that he was nursing for a little bit. So he's getting a little bit more action out there. One thing was cool to see the guy in the mailroom was like fourth generation. I mean, how do you secure that job? What is that? I'm assuming minimum like $60K for that type of position with the Cowboys. Maybe it could be less, but I'd even be okay with $40K and getting that whole experience to meet everybody.
Yeah,
that is so awesome.
And then beating Dak at spades. I mean, that's a perk,
right? that's a flex right there. Is what that is. And then the way he left, he was like, "All right, cut the cameras off. There's nothing else to see here."
Yeah, that was
a nice moment.
Boss move.
Other than that, I mean, I think it's just what's kind of teetered so much for the show is that there's been less of the progress of Dak, like seeing him throw, seeing him participate in the preseason game. And I think that's kind of what's maybe made this series a little stale for this season. Is that was kind of the major storyline was what is Dak going to do this year? How is Dak going to look this year? And I think that's why there's a little bit of upset, fans upset, and as far as like the reviews when people are watching the episodes, they're big criticism, like nothing's really going on. It's not that entertaining, and they're trying to find these other storylines, but when your big storyline, this guy can't even participate because they're limiting, they got him on a pitch count. There's not really much you can do there.
Yeah, I feel that. One of the other takeaways was Dan Quinn has a fucking filthy mouth. I was really surprised by that.
Yeah, no, I like as for a defense coordinator, I like it.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to get a fire under these guys, and which better way than to have a dude just dropping F-bombs at you 24/7. But it's the way that you can tell the players respect him, though. The way that they talk about him, the way when they talk to him, that's something I noticed right off the bat.
Yeah. And do you feel a little bit better with your defense this season?
I do. I think it was Brian Balding. I mean, everybody's already talking about Micah Parsons. We already know exactly how well he's doing. he specifically broke down Parsons and the defense. The way that Dan Quinn's using Parsons, they already knew he was going to be a starter apparently, because of the way that they've been using him, they tee the rest of the defense to his abilities, and that says waves about the kid and what he's able to do. And I mean, he's been nothing but a human highlight reel all of preseason, and his closing speed, everything is the way he can recognize a play. It's just what we expected Jalen Smith to have that same type of speed prior to the injury at Notre Dame. That's what everybody thought he was going to be coming back to. And I mean, he's looks like he's already light years ahead of where he needs to be at as a rookie, especially with the guy that didn't even play last year. I
mean, the kid's all over the field, so that's something that is a big change. Like, you could see that he has that fire. He wants to be out there, and he wants to hit some people. And who doesn't want that?
Exactly. No, and I expect good things. One of my concerns, though, just from what I keep seeing just in the film and everything, is Diggs, man. I expected him to kind of be up there, kind of like having some type of plays there, but there is plays where either Lamb or Cooper. Granted, it is Lamb and it is Cooper that are just toasting him.
I mean,
you want to see at least some type of fighting. You
got to give him a little bit of slack. I mean,
and that's why I'm kind of willing it back. Like, if it was, the other guys on the roster, then okay. But I mean, Lamb and Cooper, all right. I understand. They're a different tier when it comes to wide receivers.
Yeah,
but Diggs is one guy that I'm rooting for.
And you could just see Lamb's grown from last season. So I think he's going to have a breakout season, and I'm pretty excited to see what he has to offer this season.
And that's one thing, like, he wasn't afraid to ask Cooper for help. He straight up went to him and like, hey, what do you do on so-and-so release, or when the defender does this? And I mean, that's something I like to see. He's a rookie that doesn't have his head up his own ass, so he's somebody that's willing to get coached. That says a lot about their character. Like, they know they can just improve. They're just not taking their talent for granted.
And last season, numbers have a little asterisk on there since, Dak wasn't there. So I'm really excited to see what he will end up with by the end of the season.
Even going with all those quarterback changes, they still were phenomenal numbers for as far as him being the third guy on the roster.
Yeah. No Michael Gallup action?
I don't know what it is. I mean, I've seen
like he was fucking last year. I'm not doing it again, Albert. I'm not doing it again. I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
I don't know. I mean, it's a make or break year for him to see if he's gonna be around next year. But I don't even know what the cap space is gonna look like for this team going in next year. That's something I haven't taken a look at. But I know there's not much space to go around, so I don't know how that's gonna be worked out. So Michael Gallup's still my guy that I'm going with. I hope he has a bounce back year, and I'd love for him to stay on the Cowboys. But the way it's looking, I don't know.
Hey, fool me once,
Albert doesn't even look bad.
Not gonna happen again.
I feel you. I don't blame you. I mean, it's my fault for the pick for last year. We're hyping him up, but
no, I hype myself up, man.
But other than that, man, I mean, it's been a pretty enjoyable. It's been a little slow moving for Hard Knocks. Again, it's just because the major storyline, you can't do much about it. Just stuff going on that they're limiting Dak, so you can't really see much. I just wish like the producers for Hard Knocks maybe would have gotten with some of the fellow reporters, because they know some of these other guys that they could get more information out of, or they know the storylines for whose job is actually in jeopardy. And I wish there would be more communication with that circle. Maybe you would see actually, some more of those storylines, because the linebacker storyline in general should be looked at, everybody on that linebacker squad.
Yeah. And you know what I'm kind of missing that I saw it with other seasons of Hard Knocks is the whole cutting.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's going to happen the next episode.
This next episode, because this coming Tuesday is where they have to make final cuts for the 53-man roster. So that, I mean, we'll get to it in a second too, as far as what we expect out of preseason. But you got the tackle from Mexico, homeboy that just wants his cake. He's been a good character to have, good little story. Then you also have Azur, who also has a good little storyline as well. Yeah, hoping they both somehow make the teams. I mean, Azur's just a little bit smaller build,
and you could tell they're reaching for these stories. I mean, they spent like a whole 5 minutes on Zeke trying to wrap a fucking present.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I mean, once that Dak thing got down, I think that was most of their bread and butter for this going into this this season was that main storyline. And we probably would have gotten at least 15 minutes, mostly of just nothing but Dak. But now they can't get that because he's got to be limited to pitch count. He can't participate in a lot of the team drills. Hey,
we don't know what happens for next week's episode. Maybe he's gonna get some reps, something.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be participating now in the 7-on-7 McCarthy announced, so hopefully we get some more action there, and who knows what that's going to look like. But other than that, I mean, I think that's pretty much – we can put a wrap on the Hard Knocks. So far, still been an enjoyable series, so hopefully they kind of tune it up, find something to eke out these last couple of episodes, get us a little bit more hyped for the kickoff on Thursday night. Now let's see. So let's start with the Bears preseason. What are your thoughts? What's going on with the Bears? What do you like? What do you not like? Let me hear it.
So you want to give me an estimate of how many drives it took Andy Dalton to get a first down?
We're counting a full drive, like one full drive, two full drives. I would say 4.
9.
Jesus Christ.
2 games. He didn't get his first down until the second preseason.
So my question there is, Nagy's already stating that he's still going to be the guy starting week 1 and that Justin Fields is starting this next preseason game.
You know what that is? He's trying to keep true to his fucking peaky promise that he gave Andy fucking Dalton. He was like, look, don't worry about it. You are our week 1 starter.
Yeah.
He's going to get fucking lit up if he does start. And then it's going to be Justin Fields times. Because you can't tell me from the first 2 games that you've seen, especially game 1, the whole first half, nothing. Punt.
Yeah.
Punt. Justin Fields comes in, and this guy is electric. He's running for a first down. He has the fucking cannon of an arm. Like, he's making plays, and you can't tell me when Matt Nagy says, oh, we're going to go with the quarterback that gives us the best chance to win, that automatically is Justin Fields. Like, no one will ever say, you know what, Andy Dalton's our best fucking chance to win. Never in his life. Maybe once, twice when he was in Cincinnati, but how many years ago was that? Like, it's a lie to say it out to people, to the media, to the reporters that, oh, we're going to go with the best quarterback, wink, wink. Yeah, I made a pinky promise to Andy Dalton. He's going to start week 1 maybe.
Must have felt better about that $10 million that they just lit on fire.
Yeah, I mean, we just lit that motherfucker on fire. Might as well have kept Mitchell Trubisky and gave him the same fucking promise.
Yeah.
It would have been cheaper for us. We would have saved $10 million. We probably could have kept Fuller because that's pretty much what made us cut Fuller was we were going to sign Andy fucking Dalton for $10 million.
Yeah.
It was fucking garbage. But let me digress on Andy Dalton. Our defense, not like we don't have everyone at full capacity right now. Mm-hmm. And also Matt Nagy's not really starting everybody. So it's kind of hard to really gauge where we're at, especially with our offensive line as well. And based off of the last game, I don't want to risk my QB. He took a nasty shot.
Yeah, the helmet-to-helmet hit, it was pretty dirty.
But, fool him once. He let that shit happen once. They fucking let that guy blitz again. He let it go quick. So that makes me feel a little bit better that he's learning, but also I don't want my QB1 to be taking those type of Jay Cutler hits.
For sure. No, I mean, if there's one thing I can say about Justin Fields is that he does give the Bears offense a certain spark that Andy Dalton does not. He's a lot more exciting to watch. He makes plays happen. He can extend plays with his legs. He is very elusive. And again, we've only seen him with the second starters. We haven't seen him with the full starting squad yet. So, I mean, his ceiling is still pretty high up there. And he's just being limited by Nagy. I don't like it, and I can see on Twitter a lot of Bears fans that are upset with Nagy, calling for his head already pretty much because of the way he's approached this whole situation. But again, I think it goes back to, his little pinky promise, like you're saying with Dalton. We're like, I already told this kid he's going to be my week 1 starter, and he's leaving it at that.
Look, again,
it's okay to backtrack. It's okay.
Whenever has someone said Andy Dalton and electric in the same sentence?
That was probably years ago.
Never. Never have I ever heard that shit. But, as always, every fucking season, our offensive line is a big question mark. We haven't really seen David Montgomery. We haven't seen Allen Robinson. So I really don't know what we've been doing this preseason because we haven't had our starting wide receivers out there. Yeah. Jimmy Graham is getting older. He's out there making some plays. It's hard for me to gauge what my season's going to look like. But I know
your true starter's not out there yet.
Yeah, but I do know that if we're talking about the quarterback that gives us the best chance to win, it's Justin Fields, hands down.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think one more slight against the Bears. Roquan Smith getting snubbed in the top 100 players. I don't know why they don't like him. Here's the deal. Fred Wagner got the 21 spot. Wagner stat lines: 125 total tackles, 79 solo tackles, 5 tackles for a loss, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions. All right, now let's take a look at Roquan's stats: 139 total tackles, 98 solo tackles, 18 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions. How does he not even make it anywhere near?
Make it make sense, Albert.
List?
I'm not a numbers guy. But
based on what I'm saying is those numbers, the look test, they're up there.
They're there.
And I mean, there's no way you can tell me that he looks bad on film when the guy's making 18 tackles for a loss in the backfield versus 5.
Make sense.
I don't know. There's players out there apparently with vendettas against the Bears defensive guys. Who knows? I don't know why he's getting snubbed back-to-back years. The guy does not deserve it. He's a beast at the linebacker spot.
Look, and he's going to get the fucking bag next season.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Bears need to make some arrangements because the Brinks truck is going to be backing up for that man.
And so other than that, any other impressions with the Bears when it comes to the preseason right now?
Just one little tidbit of information that came in this past week was that the Raiders actually hit us up this offseason to try to get Khalil Mack back.
Mack, yeah. You recognize it way too late. There's no way that's happening.
No. Yeah. He's ours. Get the fuck away. We hung that phone up real quick.
Yeah, Gruden fucked that one up royally. For sure.
How are you feeling about your Bears or my Bears, your Cowboys?
I mean, besides not seeing Dak, I'm okay. I follow a lot of the writers, and I'm taking their words to heart, and they have all the confidence that he looks good. All the reports I'm hearing is good, so I'm taking as a team being cautionary. I just want the guy out there week 1 ready to start slinging the ball. I already see what the receivers can do. I know what the offense can do when it's healthy. Zeke looks like this might be a comeback year for him. Put up some insane numbers. The defense, man. I mean, if he's available, I think I might take him. I think this is, I think I've seen enough so far where this might be, the year where I can put him like if I got a top pick. I'm not saying Super Bowl because you know me, I keep it optimistic. I keep it real, But as far as a good top 5 fantasy running back, Zeke might make that threshold once again. And
all right,
I can see that. Yeah,
you have the option at your position that you're drafting at to get either Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, or Zeke. Who are you going with?
Man, to be honest, if it's a PPR league, I'd have to go Kamara, even though I just said all that about Zeke. But
haven't you seen his catches? Yeah. Hard Knocks been doing some heavy advertisement on his catching ability this.
But you now have a Saints team that is without their number 1 receiver because of his injury. You got a guy, Winston, who's looking not too bad. We both saw the LASIK seemed to fix his problems.
That's a good segue.
And he's doing the whole, He's doing the whole little his mental throwing training that he does now pregame. The guy put in work. I can't hate on him. The guy put in work, and it showed that last preseason game. He was throwing some beautiful passes.
Hey, I was surprised.
Yeah.
Like, all it took was one drive or two drives, back-to-back touchdowns. Yo.
And then both of them to that undrafted Callaway rookie wide receiver that he looks like he can fill some shoes.
Yeah, well, for sure, especially since Michael Thomas, we really don't know when he's going to be coming back onto the field. And then Traquan is hurt or sidelined for some odd reason. Even though he might come back, you know, that rapport that he's built with Winston, I mean,
that's going to be there.
He might be getting some wide receiver one numbers, at least for the next couple weeks.
Maybe a sleeper pick in fantasy drafts.
Don't you do it, you motherfucker. Don't you do it. But
so I would still take Kamara if I had the option. If Kamara and Zeke were available, I would probably still take Kamara, to be honest. If it was PPR, if it's not PPR, definitely taking Zeke.
All right. Good to know. Writing that down.
Just because Cowboys don't really incorporate Zeke too much in the passing game. They do from time to time, but it's not really consistent. That's kind of more along what they're probably going to use Pollard for, since it looks like he might be getting a little bit more shares in those type of situations.
Right. And, again, I'm just probing because just to let everyone know, we're in a fantasy league together, and he has the second pick. I got the third pick. The number one guy, his picks are a little bit questionable, to say the least.
He's a little erratic. Let's say that he's
so
it go tied in for pick one.
It gives us free reign on who we want. So I'm just doing a little homework right now.
But back to the Cowboys for preseason, I think one of the big storylines there is going to be possibly what they may do come Tuesday when final cuts need to be made. So far, it may be a possibility that Jalen Smith may be traded for like a lower round pick. I think I can see that happen, to be honest. I mean, some of the stories I'm seeing is, one, they're already impressed with Micah Parsons. They're also impressed with the free agent pickup, Keanu Neal. And Neal and Parsons have been taking preseason snaps ahead of Smith. So that's saying they already liking what they're seeing out of those two, that combination. And then you also have the other rookie, Jabril Cox, who's kind of under the radar because he's not been featured anywhere on Hard Knocks, but he's making waves throughout the preseason. And again, now you have these two rookies who are going to have cheaper contracts. You're on a team. Cowboys need to find additional cap space, and that cap space can be getting him traded to where somebody else can eat that. I think it's like $8-9 million for Jalen Smith.
Yeah.
And that just helps them out even further when it comes to, in case something does happen, they may need to pick up somebody random for this season or towards next season, making guys stay on this roster. But I don't know. I think the writing's on the wall for Smith. I think he may get dealt come Tuesday. And so if so, I'm going to go with some of the things that I'm seeing on there. And you guys heard it here. Smith may be gone come this next Tuesday.
Wow. You heard it here first.
As long as they can find somebody to trade. I mean, they're not going to get much out of him. Maybe a 6th round pick, to be honest. I don't expect anything crazy. He's coming off of, 2 down years, and I don't think there's going to be anybody clamoring, for him for anything higher than maybe a 6th round pick.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be one of the bigger storylines and something to keep an eye out on as far as, what may potentially happen with that linebacker room for the Cowboys.
See what happens, man.
I mean, other than that, from the preseason, a lot of these young guys that they've drafted, I'm liking the tenacity. I'm liking the speed. That the defense finally look fast. They look alert. They look more into the game itself compared to last year. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Or do you think it's just the theatrics of Hard Knocks that's making it look?
No, I'm even talking about just like what I see in the preseason. Not even looking at. I don't like to take a look at Hard Knocks because I know they're only taking the certain good parts and making it more explosive.
Well, yeah, they have like dramatic music.
Exactly.
They have that guy fucking talking in the background.
Yeah.
They
got it there. And
be a believer. I was like, oh shit, is this them boys this year?
The names I'm saying, like Neal, Jabril Cox, those are not guys that have been featured at all on Hard Knocks. So I'm just going strictly off what's been going on with the preseason. the reports that I'm seeing, as far as what I'm seeing on screen as well. The only thing I can agree with Hard Knocks as far as who they're showing off is obviously Micah Parsons. I mean,
Right.
that guy is probably going to be a once-in-a-lifetime talent. I hope it transitions because I've heard this story before. I've seen this story play out. As long as the kid can stay healthy and his willingness to learn the game, that's all that matters.
I wish him all the health because I think that's going to be the most important thing in his career. If this kid stays healthy, he's going to be a fucking monster.
Yeah. He is going to be a beast at the linebacker position. I mean, as big as he is and as fast as he can move, that's just he moves as fast as a DB at the linebacker spot. It's just his closing speed is just ridiculous. But I got high hopes going into week one. It's just more so just to see what Dak can do, what he does do. That's the only thing I'm more looking forward to. I'm just just got that itch. I can't see it yet. It's not even in Hard Knocks. Not even in the preseason.
Hey,
that's just like me.
Tom Brady. That's a tall order.
It is, and we said it, episodes and episodes back that if they can find a way to get a W week one against the defending Super Bowl champs, that's just a wave of momentum just to coast on. That starts you off here, and you just ride that shit out.
Okay. I see what you're saying there. If you can if that builds such a big momentum, what happens if you lose?
Depends on how bad the loss is, to be honest. Depends on how bad it is. I mean,
the key is
if they get blown out and it's become something that the defense can't stop him, then writing's on the wall there. We already know that worst case scenario, it's going to take some time to fix this defense. I don't expect anything crazy out of Dan Quinn of the year one. I just need them, like I've been saying, they just need to be have some type of competitiveness. Keep these games relatively close than what they were previously. Can't be all on the offense to hang up 45, 50 points a game.
Yeah. We'll see, man. Just get to Tom Brady and you'll be all right.
Exactly.
But that Tampa Bay defense is fucking stout, man. So,
yeah. I mean, it's going to be a big test for everybody. It's going to be, to me, I mean, it's the best test to gauge where this healthy offense is going to be at and where this new defense is going to be at. I mean, it's going to be one of the best tests. If they lose, if it's a close game, hard-fought game, I'm not going to be mad at it. To be honest, I'm not going to be mad at it. I don't think they will be either. They can see what they can capitalize on because that's going to be one of the hardest teams that they play this season as far as where they're at on the defensive side and where they're at on the offensive side.
I'm excited. Ready for it.
Same, man. I mean, I'm even excited for the Bears. I mean, I want to see what, Fields does. I mean, it's an exciting time. This is your new franchise quarterback that you have in the making. And he's already pretty much, to me, he's already a few years ahead of where Dak was when he was coming in as a rookie. He's already got a lot of that already down to where it took those first, 1 to 2 years for Dak to get down. His understanding of everything is already ahead of where he was. And to me, he's like Dak 2.0. Just he's
the kid's making plays, and I think that is the big game changer. Is that he's making plays either with his legs. It doesn't look like the game is too fast for him. And I know he said that, and then he got lit up. So the way I took
him off a free blitz,
he didn't feel nervous. He felt comfortable.
Yeah,
and you can see it in his play. And I think that the game changer would be is let the kid go out there with the starters, and then he's gonna light shit up. He was out there with the fucking third stringers that are competing for a spot, and he was able to come back for a win. So kudos to him. I'm excited. I'm just ready. I'm ready for football. I'm ready to draft on all my fantasy leagues. Are you ready? Do you even mock draft?
I don't mock draft at all. I don't. And I know people say you should, but to be honest, you get some fucking some of the guys that we'll probably have in this league, they're going to do some outrageous things that you're never going to see in a mock draft. That's never going to prepare you for it. So I just go off of what I normally do, and I just play it by there. I'm on a 2-year drought from championships, so I need a win this year in some of these leagues.
Maybe you should mock draft. Got to switch it up.
All right. Maybe I'll do a couple mock drafts prior to our draft.
We'll see.
But other than that, I mean, anything else? I mean, that we have news-wise, I guess when it comes to maybe fantasy, the biggest, I guess, news recently. I hope everybody that didn't, that I don't know. There's some of those crazy people that like to draft already ahead of time before preseason ends. I don't know why you would ever do that, because then you end up in a situation where Travis Etienne is now out for the entire season.
Well, it's not something that someone would have drafted within the first 5 rounds, hopefully. But still, that's a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
But your boy James Robinson, it's his time to shine again.
Hey, that's my guy. I mean, from last year when I was hyping him up, I mean, free agent success story, undrafted free agent success story. I love to see those. And, first year put up over 1K yards. Dude was beast, man. I mean, and, hopefully it's his time to shine. I feel sorry for Etienne and his injury, but I've always liked Robinson, and I wish Etienne a speedy recovery, comes back, because he does give them another chance as far as being one of those pass catchers in the backfield that he has over Robinson. He has that speed as well. But, I mean, Robinson, he was a solid pick for them. And I don't know, they need something over there. From what I've seen so far in the preseason, I caught the Jags game. Trevor Lawrence has had a bit of a shaky start.
Yeah, and I thought, they were making the whole conversation about, Minshew is really fighting for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I didn't see it in the last game. We both watched that game for a little bit together, and Minshew didn't look sharp. He pretty much lost the starting position with that game. But then again, Trevor Lawrence, to me, out of the top 5 the top 5 quarterbacks that were drafted, he doesn't seem like the number 1 overall pick. And I don't know if it's because of the Jaguars team sucks, and that's why they had the
my deal is
overall draft.
They took a big gamble on Etienne. Guy that was a teammate with Lawrence, took a big gamble on him. I think that pick, now it's easy to say because of hindsight, but I'd still, even then, now looking at how bad that O-line has been looking in these preseason games, I think depth over there, a better pick there. Maybe it had been Sewell, somebody else on that O-line could definitely help them out, because that O-line looks shaky right now.
Oh, yeah. And you could see it in his face as well. You could see how he's trying to be like the man on the team, talking to guys after their 3 and outs and shit. But I don't know. Other guys look better. I think it's going to be a rude awakening for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the Jaguars, so there's that.
Just bring the Jags to San Antonio already. Just move another thing to Texas.
Hey, but also news today, Sony Michel getting dealt to the Rams.
Oh, yeah, because the Rams need depth at running back, so that makes sense. They got a couple picks for Michel, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Interesting to see what the Patriots do with their rookie quarterback, and then also Cam Newton.
Yeah.
The rookie quarterback for them hasn't looked bad either.
Do you think Cam is in competition for that starting role?
I don't know. I really haven't paid too much attention to it as much as I should be.
Mac Jones did not look terrible. The first game, he did look terrible. The second game, it looked like he had his nerves and was kind of learning from the past game. So, he didn't do bad, and the fucking crowd loved him. But, that New England crowd, we tend to like their little frat boys,
Yeah. We'll have to see what happens there. But other than that, I'm excited for this season. It's almost here, man. Start catching some games for sure. I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. Whatever happens, it's going to be exciting. I just can't wait for either Cowboys or the Bears. Hopefully it's going to be a good year for both.
Oh, I'm me, I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
For sure, we're going to win our division. I'm not even scared about Aaron Rodgers, fucking hippie. I'm good.
You're not digging the long hair Aaron Rodgers?
Yo, he's checked out. And I think that if Jeopardy would have gave him a ring before the season, he would have fucking taken the job.
What killed me is the game with the Jets, the preseason game with the Jets. He's mentoring the Jets rookie quarterback and not showing any love to, funny enough, Jordan Love. That was I was like, this guy, bro, is an asshole.
Hey,
This dude.
the third string quarterback for Green Bay, like he actually looked pretty good.
Is that the one with the I don't know his name, but did he have the sleeve tattoo on his arm?
I think
Does that have
so.
to do with the sleeve? Yeah.
Yeah,
I caught a little bit of that game. Yeah, he didn't look bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever. I mean, but it's typical Aaron Rodgers fashion. And what you were saying about Zach Wilson, that kid is probably, I would say, well deserved of that position that he got drafted at. Like he looks really
a lot
good.
of good things for him.
And the Jets might actually win a couple games.
I mean, he's one of the ones. I mean, that has been you're getting more good news out of him than Trevor Lawrence. Same thing with Trey Lance recently, and then of course Justin Fields. I mean, those three seem to be ahead of where Lawrence is at right now.
For sure.
But other than that, man, yeah. Cheers to this season, bro.
Cheers to that. Hey,
wish good health for both teams.
Gonna have at least one more pod before the season?
Oh, for sure, yeah. We'll probably do one more pod prior to the season.
Because we have to do at least a small little recap of our draft picks.
Yeah, we'll probably do it.
We gotta let everyone know. We gotta let everyone know where we stand.
We'll let everybody know so you can rate our teams too. We'll probably do something like that. Let everybody rate the teams as far as all their picks, and we'll go from there. I mean, we'll do one more pod right before the season. Then as the season starts, of course, we'll start recapping the games for the Cowboys and Bears, and we'll go from there.
I can't wait, man.
Likewise, bud.
The neighbor's dog, bro. The whole time we were good. We let him out. Fucking ruining everything.
It wasn't even that bad. You can barely hear him in the background. It's all good. Other than that, you can follow us at ModPodTX. Follow us on the Twitters. You can follow Jose here at Kickflip Thrifts, myself at Albert D III, which is for the third. Other than that, Jose, if you want to go to your go-to.
Hey, hit that shit, Boldy Hugh. Cheers.